Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is my regular evening walk. So, the purpose of today's video is to show you how you can find art inspiration in nature even if you live in a town area. Because some of us don't live in the countryside and we don't really have easy access to forests, lakes, and mountains. And sometimes we think that we have to travel to special locations to find things worth painting, but that is not always the case. You can find inspiration even in the simplest of places like this one. Over the years, I have learned that if you really know what to look for and where to look, you can find art inspiration almost everywhere you go. I live in the tropics, by the way, so we don't really have four distinctive seasons. The weather here is fairly consistent throughout the year, but still, I have noticed that these trees go through their own seasonal changes. And if you pay close attention, you can see this phenomenon very vividly. And it's not just the trees, you can also see small surprises like berries, seeds, wildflowers, mushrooms, and some days I see like very rare migrating birds here. Other days I see delicate flowers sprouting through the grass. So it's quite amazing how much inspiration you can find in such a small space. And it's a park, by the way, so it's not 100% natural. I would say part of it is man-made, and also it's surrounded by a town right next to these paths. It's the main road. So it's a town area, but that's the whole point of this video. You don't really have to set aside time for a big trip to the forest or to the countryside. Even in your daily routine, nature offers endless moments of beauty if you pay attention. So I'm back home and I have already sketched some of the things that I saw during the walks, and I'm going to start coloring these sketches. It's relaxing to do this over the weekend, coloring spot illustrations, especially of natural subjects like leaves, flowers, and things like that. I find that very relaxing. And I'm using watercolors, by the way, focusing on bold, vibrant color tones, kind of amplifying what I saw outdoors in nature. I don't see them that much during this time of the year, but there are some months these walking paths will be filled with fallen leaves. It's like autumn, but not quite autumn because we don't really have four seasons, but it gives heavy autumn vibes. And I like the leaves that have a mix of greens, reds, and yellows, then creating nice patterns. This is the sample that I used, but it's not an exact match, but close enough. And then we are moving on to the berries. I think I started painting with the Derwent Inktense pencils, but my sketchbook doesn't have like good watercolor paper. This is a cheap Chinese sketchbook, so I found that it was difficult to continue with the Inktense pencils, and I started using watercolors again. Alright, this is what it looks like, the sample image that I used. And then I'm moving on to the seeds that I saw fallen on the walking paths. This is the time of the year that I see a lot of these seeds on the walking paths. It's all very seasonal. Alright, and this is the sample that I used. And then moving on to the yellow flowers that we saw earlier. And I'm using my silver black velvet watercolor brush. This is the brush that I used almost always now because it's just such a great brush, and you don't really feel like using anything else after you have used this silver black velvet line of brushes. I think I'm using number 6 in this sketch, but I also have number 8 and number 10. So they have different sizes. I think number 6 is my favorite for the type of artwork that I do. This is the reference I used for this sketch. And then let's move on to the other one. This is the sleeping grass plant, and the branches have some seeds on it, as you can see in this reference image. This is the final artwork and how it all looks in a double page spread. You can see that I have added some text here and there. I rarely add text in my sketchbook, but in this case I think I wanted to fill some gaps between the spot illustrations so that the composition looks very balanced. So this is just an idea that you can also use if you live in a town area and you feel like you don't have easy access to nature. You can still find things to draw and paint. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. So please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.